Hello everyone, I am just trying to do a little test here to see if the audio on this game will work okay. As you know, it's really hit and miss with this sort of thing. Let's do vanilla Quake, just some shareware. Hey Ryan, thanks for coming in. Can you tell me, how's the audio sounding now? Are we good? Yeah, so what I'm going to do is if the audio is good here, I'm just going to... It's good. Okay, so now we know that Quake works. That's good. Okay, well, in that case, this is the real stream then. And, oh, I was going to go to the nightmare difficulty level there. Say a little secret in the episode select. Just got to go a little bit slower. Okay, here we go. Nightmare, this is like the first id game where Nightmare does not have respawning enemies. Like if you play Doom, or even like Duke Nukem 3D, I believe, the enemies would respawn, and that would be kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, but they don't have that in Quake. They're tougher, and there are more of them, and that's pretty much it. Oh, let me want to make sure I can see all your comments, so I'm trying to make this bigger. All right. Yeah, this is actually the Quake 25th anniversary remake. Is published by Bethesda. It's very faithful, but what I like about it a lot is that it has the expansion packs, the official expansion packs for Quake, like Scourge of Armagon. I can't remember what the other one was called. What? Okay, what's going on here? This is the first time I've seen this. He's just not there. Huh. Okay. No? It's like he's a block. Okay. Well, as you can see, there are a few bugs in it. Oh, thanks, Ryan, for donating. It's good. We got about like $550 or something in this fundraiser. I guess if I was streaming more, I could be getting more donations. That's one reason why I'm doing this now. Where I'm trying to remember. I think there's another secret here that I'm missing. Okay, there we go. All right, so those of you who follow me on Twitter probably already aware that I'm going to be going away for a while, and not going to get into too much detail. But like I said, if you follow me on Twitter, you know. If you know, you know. You know. I also note the Bethesda comment here. I want to say the game it's pretty good. The problem that I have with it is that the multiplayer, there's not a lot of servers. I think that people who like really love Quake, I mean from the time, like the people who played it when it first came out, like people like me, I think that there's just not many of us really. I know there's a lot of younger gamers who appreciate classics and they like playing retro games and stuff, but I don't think there's like a huge draw, you know what I mean? And so for that reason, there's usually very few servers, very few multiplayer servers, and it's also a bit buggy. Okay, again, Bethesda. The multiplayer servers can be a bit buggy. Like when you do cooperative mode and you go to the next level, sometimes you load in the next level and you're just basically lagged to shit, and there is like nothing you can do. And basically you just have to leave the server and come back if you can. So yeah, I was really enjoying the multiplayer in this initially because when it first came out, it was like there were a decent amount of servers. It wasn't too hard to actually get in a game. Now though, when I look, I don't see many servers, and I also got really unusually high ping, which is odd because my connection now, you know, I have a direct cable connection, and that just shouldn't happen, you know. Oh well, though, I mean, as you can see, though, what they did is they basically gave it like high resolution textures and everything, so it's all very, very pretty. And so big news today. You saw the video. I was very inspired by the news in the morning. A Russian landing ship that was obviously laden with a lot of ammunition, explosives, was hit by Ukrainian forces, possibly by rocket artillery or something. It was basically written off. You could see it with huge explosions. And then another ship looked like it was badly damaged but able to move, and there was another ship that suffered what seems like more minor damage. So yeah, even the Russian Navy is getting significant losses. Yes, I am back. And I am back, and I'm going to try to put out as much content as I can before I leave. It's not a lot of time, and the problem is I'm still working until I actually leave, until a few days before I leave, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. It means I don't have all the free time I wanted. I just finished that book that I was looking for. Like, I found it completely by accident, but it was the thing that sort of just it's the thing that's sorry, I saw Easy 8 and I thought I was saying, like, are you hammered right now? I'm like, no, I'm just high on life now. But no, I'm actually completely sober at the moment. But yeah, so getting back to that, I found the book. There's just exactly the type of thing, exactly the type of information that I wanted to convey in the next Varibu video, because I wanted to talk about doctrine, and I wanted to, this is original Quake, someone's asking about which one. I want to talk about doctrine, and I want to really like contribute something and not just be kind of repeating what a lot of other people have said about this. And I just found the perfect book that perfectly articulates and articulates what I want to say, but also has the credentials behind it. So, it's not just me. Yeah, I guess there is a lot of, you're comparing the enemies in this to Russian conscripts, and yeah, I do see some similarities. The book is John Boyd, the Blind Strategist, and it is about Boyd, the former fighter pilot, who came up with the OODA loop. It's like observation, orientation, decision, action, and this also translated into this theory they came up with called maneuver warfare, and this is all associated with the so-called reformers movement in the U.S. military in the 70s and 80s, and basically is based largely on bullshit. It's based on bullshit from Sir Basil Little Hart, and a combination of that and the very dishonest memoirs of a lot of former Wehrmacht commanders. So that's the book. Is kind of like it's like in Tetris, when you get a bunch of blocks lined up and you just need that one long block that you can drop in there and get your 4 lines, right? Proper Tetris. That's what this book, the role it's kind of played for me. So yeah, unfortunately my next World War II video is being delayed because of World War III, and you'd expect World War II to sort of delay World War III, but we're in wacky land. Everything is backwards. All right, save there. There is one feature of Nightmare in the Bethesda. I should stop saying Bethesda. In the 25th anniversary version that I'm playing here, the difference is that on Nightmare, what they do is they cap your health at 50, which I think is really dumb. Because the whole point of these old games, I'm not going to use the term boomer shooter, I will not say that, but the point of these games, in my opinion, is that, like, if you found the extra health, you keep it, right? Now, all you can do in this, if you get the mega health, it puts you at 200 and it counts down, but it'll count down to 50, so you're capped at 50 here. Okay, about the plot. Yeah, okay, Quake has a mess of a plot, right? Doom is actually very straightforward. I think Doom, people act like the plot of Doom is weak. John Carmack even said something like, it should be like pornography, like light on plot but heavy on action. But the thing is, the plot of Doom is good. I mean, I don't remember seeing another video game or even many movies at that time that entailed opening a portal to hell. I mean, that was you're fighting demons in hell. You know, I mean, that's awesome. And so you know, Doom had a good plot. This does not. What happened here was it was supposed to be like a more like fantasy game. I think it was even supposed to have some RPG elements, and it was going to be called Time Quake. Oh, hey Casey, I know you from Twitter. Good friend. So let me get back to that. So it was going to be called Time Quake, and it was going to involve time travel, and there was going to be some fantasy stuff going on in it. And then they needed to get it out, so they're like, we'll slap something together, and they decided to add the guns and make it more like Doom basically. And the plot is just kind of all over the place. But what is interesting is that one guy who helped out with that was Sandy Peterson. Now, if you're not familiar with Sandy Peterson, he invented a lot of pen and paper role-playing games. He also still makes board games. He designed levels for the original Doom. He helped write on the original Doom. This legendary game designer, and he invented the pen and paper tabletop game Call of Cthulhu. He's a huge Lovecraft fan. And oh, okay, Cool Ranch. I remember. Yeah, so he's a huge Lovecraft fan, and what he did is he kind of worked some magic into the bare bones plot they had, and just basically put a bunch of Lovecraftian references in it, including the final boss that you fight. And I think it was, you know, it's interesting because I didn't really know anything about Lovecraftian stuff when I played this when it first came out. You know, I'm elderly, and got that guy still alive. So I didn't really know like these creatures like Thawne and you know, some of the Shambler, for example. Didn't know anything about that. And so anyway, so what I was saying, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that yet. I think I was supposed to go the other way. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. So really, like, it kind of helped get me interested in Lovecraftian stuff much later. But at least with this, I learned about its existence. You know. I gotta say though, when Quake first came out, oh, I forgot about this. I was wondering like who's doing that. Yeah, I better save. Oh, the door's open. Yeah, I need to get some health. Let's get some health here. All right, so as I was saying, so with the when Quake first came out, I wasn't too impressed by it, but you got to remember I was playing it on a much worse computer. It was a Pentium 1. It was the processor speed was 120 megahertz. Okay, it had 8 megabytes of RAM, and you know, you didn't like if you look at the way the characters move all smoothly like that. It didn't work that way back then. Their animation was very jerky, and it just was not very impressive at all. And so in addition to that problem, there was the problem of it just being very dull. And also when Quake came out, I've been playing Duke Nukem 3D a lot, and Duke Nukem 3D was very you know, it had character, it had interaction in it. That's what I love the most about Duke 3D is just interacting with stuff and finding Easter eggs. And am I going to run into another one of those guys? Okay, maybe not. All right. Yeah. So this came out and it was like, okay, yeah, this is cool, but I was like, oh, this is sort of just Doom, you know, and yeah, it's Doom in 3D. It was a necessary first step. The other thing is back then, the thing back then was that you don't want to do it yet. The multiplayer, you know, you really, unless you had like a LAN or something, you couldn't really take advantage of Quake's very good multiplayer. And so that was another reason why I just didn't get too into it. In fact, I wasn't into Quake 2 when I had a better computer that could run Quake 2. I didn't really find it that impressive until I could start playing it multiplayer. You know, online, basically. God, it was a dial-up modem, too. But, yeah, so, like I said, when Quake first came out, it was fun the first few times around, but I wasn't too impressed by it. But it's only like later. What I like about this is that you boot this up and you can just go and blast things. It doesn't require a lot of thinking, anything like that. It's just mindless violence, basically. Lots of fun. This guy can't see me. He can still hit me though. All right, let me. Where's that going? He's gone. That's good. Zombie. So yeah, the zombies will continuously come back to life until you gib them, or gib them, however you prefer to pronounce that. Let's see. Yeah, the sci-fi stuff in this was just kind of like tacked on. But here's the thing: if you've ever been familiar with Call of Cthulhu and all those Lovecraftian pen and paper role-playing games, there's basically scenarios for every time period. There's sci-fi. I think there's a cyberpunk Cthulhu. There's something called Achtung Cthulhu, which is basically Lovecraftian stuff set in a World War II alternate history, basically. So all these things exist, and that's the beauty of Lovecraftian fiction, is that you can just sort of you can just sort of plug it into pretty much any era, any time. I was once kicking around. I actually wrote part of it. It was a sort of adventure novel that was Lovecraftian and set in the early Cold War, and it had basically a sort of Indiana Jones type character fighting a group of like an esoteric Nazi cult. It was inspired by real organizations that unfortunately existed. If you're familiar with the nutcase known as Julius Evola or Savitri Devi, for example, the villains in this novel were actually based on that. So, little trivia there. I couldn't really get the novel to go very far though, because I felt like that the era, the early Cold War era, I felt like I would need to do a lot more research to get the people right. We're talking like early 60s. Yeah, I think I said Gib too. I'm partial to saying Gib, but it's weird. I say GIF because the guy who created them said call it GIF. But for Gibs, we're talking about FPSs. Definitely, I go with Gib. Even though if you remember, what is it? The little things in Turkey, giblets. We call them giblets, right? So yeah, multiple pronunciations, very flexible. Oh, dodge that grenade there. But yeah, you remember? I think the first time I ever learned that term was from Rise of the Triad. I've been on record saying I'm not a huge Rise of the Triad fan, but it's novel the first time around. And if you remember, there was something called Ludicrous Gibs, which is you could use a cheat code to make it happen every time. But normally, just at random, if you blew up an enemy with any missile weapon, really, occasionally they would do this. It would say Ludicrous Gibs in the message screen at the top, and you would just get like a much bigger explosion of various body parts, and it was just ridiculous because Rise of the Triad was kind of a ridiculous game. It was very tongue-in-cheek, and that's it had character, and then you could see how that mentality carried on, that spirit carried on in Duke Nukem 3D, where there's a lot of humor and a lot of character in it. But yeah, no, that's the thing. I didn't like. I never got into Quake quite as much back then, just because I liked interacting with stuff, and what I loved the most about Duke Nukem 3D when it first came out is that you would be fighting in a city, something you're familiar with, something that looks kind of lived in. And people, like in Doom 2, you had a few levels that were made to look like a city. And they just didn't. Let's say someone mentioned diesel punk better than steampunk. I actually do agree with that. I kind of like that a bit better, or what they call ray gun gothic. I like that a lot. Okay, I think I'm going to get really fucked up here. There's a Shambler up here. The thing about the Shambler shows up in a lot of Lovecraftian fiction that is not done by Lovecraft. I can't remember in what story Lovecraft actually introduced this Shambler, but it just seems because I remember it was Robert. Yeah, what's the guy's name? Robert. There's Robert something, and I'm just kicking myself for not remembering his name right now. Is he gonna teleport there again? Oh, there's more. They're just gonna keep like teleporting in, or what? You gotta be careful with this, because that enemy right there is designed to basically punish you for using explosives. If you use your rocket launcher or something like that, you know, he basically jumps in your face, and you'll kill yourself with splash damage. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. And this guy is supposed to be, the Shambler here, is supposed to be somewhat immune to explosives. So it takes a lot of explosives to take him down. But there's a trick we can do. Keep him from using his line of sight attack on me. What you do is you try to bait the melee attack, which is not working now. Okay, miracle, we survived that, just 50 health. Let's see. Open, let's see, I'm looking at the questions here. yeah, someone's mentioned Ryza tried. So when you had like a, Gib explosion, eyes would like fall down. Eyes would fly out, and then sometimes like a hand would fly out, and it was like flipping you off. Okay, do we get... Oh, at least we got all kills. I'm not a great secret hunter, but I do try to get 100% kills. Okay. If you'll excuse me for 1 second, I am going to just grab a beverage from a non-alcoholic beverage from my fridge. And I'll be right with you. Okay, I'm back. I didn't want to pause the recording there, so let me crack open this nice sugar-free stevia ginger ale. Robert Bloke, yes, thank you. Shambler from the Stars, thank you for that. Yes, that was a good story. A very short story. If you want to see a good Call of Cthulhu game, there's the official Call of Cthulhu game that I reviewed in my Halloween episode. And I will say this, it helps if you're a fan or you're just someone who really wants to know more about the mythos. Because it's a detective game. It's a little bit linear, but it does have 4 different endings in it. And so it can be kind of fun. I thought it wouldn't be a lot of replay value in it, even with the different endings, but I played through all 4 different endings, so I guess it accomplished what they set out to do, right? And so, yeah, it is a very cinematic game. I would say it's almost like an interactive movie, sort of. Choose your own adventure. And, of course, it has role-playing elements similar to the actual pen and paper game. And it will familiarize you with a lot of things from the mythos, one of which... Oh, Jesus, I should not have gone there now. One of the things you will meet is the Shambler, and I won't say too much about how the Shambler shows up, but I think I show a little bit of it in my Halloween review, but it's pretty cool, and I would say it's a sort of, I want to say, clearly inspired by the Bloke short story, Robert Bloke short story. So, I hate this swimming part here. We're going to go to a secret level here, though. We just got to get through all of this nonsense. There's a secret around here. Fuck it, let's just go. That was a dumb thing to do. We should start from here. Yeah, one of the problems with Quake is that you had these sort of bullet spongy enemies. And that was for a reason, though, because, see, unlike Doom, you couldn't really have, like, big hordes of enemies, so now they decided, well, you can have stronger enemies, and that's what they did. But it means that some enemies just take a huge amount of damage sometimes, and it gets a little bit annoying. Let's see, Coke Zero, yes, I have had that. Alright, so forgot about this guy here. Basically, I think we gotta hit some switch or something, and then there'll be there is a secret entrance that goes to the secret level. Now, the secret level in this was a big surprise, because if you're not familiar with it, you get in there, and basically, because Quake could have all these different tweaks, basically, what happens is there is there's low gravity, basically. So you'll see as soon as we get to that secret level how the low gravity works. The only good thing about these guys, if you kill them, you can get some rockets. Your grenade launcher and rocket launcher use the same ammo in this. One good thing is we can get the rocket launcher in the secret level before we get it in the next level. Interesting that we have not died yet. I've been taking some risk, and again, this is Nightmare. It caps you at 50 health. But, you know, some things you just, you don't unlearn, you know. We got more. These are one of the most annoying enemies in the game. They're called Scrags, and I absolutely hate them because they will be tucked into like corners and stuff, and you just you know, you think you've killed every enemy in the room, and then you go somewhere and oh, there's a Scrag. He's right behind you, and what's more is that for an enemy that looks kind of small, they do take a fairly good bit of damage. That's why, like, you need to use a nail gun against them, for example, because otherwise you're going to be using a lot of shells unless you're at point-blank range. So they're just extremely annoying for that reason. Okay, get some armor here. Yeah, blow yourself up, idiot. I can't remember if these guys can self-damage. I know they can infight. My favorite enemy. Yeah, super nail gun will take care of them very quickly. Let's do this. Yeah, I mean, what I miss about Quake, and if you played like Dusk or like in a medieval, it's that like floaty feeling. It's like being fast, you know, because when games like Halo and Call of Duty basically kind of took over. They try to give you like a more realistic movement speed, right? And same with jumping and everything. And so what I liked about Quake was just this freedom to to be fast, basically, because got to go fast, right? And yeah, and like any game that that this aspect of it, is being able to just run that kind of like. That slight tilt, I still don't quite see it, but that feeling, it's unique, you know. Oh shit! Forgot this. Nearly died there. Those guys can kill you very quickly. All right. Okay. So let's take a sip here. There. So dodging these grenades. Oh shit. Well, we're in bad shape here. I'm getting killed by the environmental traps. That's very, that'd be very embarrassing. We're not going to let that happen. Okay, I think I did hit both those switches, didn't I? I hit one there. I'll make sure I... Yeah, we got them both. Okay. That's what opens that secret cave. Let's see. Oh, grenade right in the face. I hate it when you, like, you run really far to get away from one of the grenades and you still just end up taking it right in the face. And we killed him too. Seems like such a waste. Let's see, we go here. Probably gonna go almost all the way to the exit. God damn it. I told you, like, if they're not hidden somewhere, they just teleport in and they just ruin your day. Okay, that's the end of the level. I have a feeling there... No, I was expecting another one of those fiends. The fiends are the things that jump at you with the hooked hands. Okay, so open. Okay. Now we will go back to falling damage. Let's find that cave. Here it is over here. Now we should at least get 100% kills. Yeah, okay, here we go. This is fun. Ah, we left the survivor. Hey, Joseph. I'm doing okay for now. See you later, Easy 8. Thanks for coming in as always. Always glad to see support. You know, it's so great that, I mean, you know, there was a time when I would do a stream and I'd set up all this stuff. And what would happen is basically I get maybe like 2 people. And, you know, sometimes, I think like on the stream that I did with Blood back when I didn't have audio problems with that game. And yeah, I maybe had 3 people on max, you know, just not too impressive at all. I never saw this ledge before. Wow. Okay. So there's basically an invulnerability power-up on the other side of this. And what I'm doing is I am deliberately saving that for later because we are going to run into some very dangerous... We're going to run into Shamblers in a place where the Shamblers can cause a lot of damage. So it is essential that we prepare for that. Actually, I think I can go in there now. Let me think. Is this... I mean, if I have to, I could beat them another way, but god damn it. See, that's the low gravity effect there. If you hit like an incline, it basically will launch you into the air. Okay, what we need to do... yeah, here we go. Classic Quake rocket launcher. And because we got the rocket launcher, we can rocket jump now. It's not running out. Oh shit, we're out of it. Okay. I think... Yeah, I guess we run into a Shambler later. I was expecting him there. But now we at least have a rocket launcher, and that is very important. Okay, Shamblers and Vortigods. Well, Vortigods don't hit you for that much power, but of course they have a similar attack. Although the Vortigod takes a longer time. If we're talking about Half-Life 1... Well, yeah, there are only enemies in Half-Life 1, really. If we're talking about that... They take more time to charge up, and that's a good thing because, you know, in this, the Shambler only takes like, you know, a few seconds. Trying to see if there's a secret there. All right, let's just go back. We have to run through that pyramid, I believe. Now you see you see how the health, I had like the mega health, but it's you know, it's going down below that because they cap your health at 50, which is really dumb. I wish, you know, it's funny, a lot of these remakes and remasters often give you the option of doing things the old way, basically. Like you can choose like on, for example, the remaster of Command and Conquer, you can choose remastered music, or you can go with the old style. Same with like the resolutions and everything. But here it's like, no, you got to do this new nightmare where we decided to cap your health at 50 for no good reason. Alright, we're gonna sip here. I just bought this ginger ale earlier, so I had to throw it in the freezer, you know, so it wouldn't take forever to get cold. I guess I should have just, you know, made some ice or something, but too late. No sense in crying about it now. Okay, now we're gonna get another mega health over there by Jesus. You hear that sound? It's the Scrag. It's the most annoying enemy in the game, and he's right next to me. Okay, so go up here. Oh, we could have got that pentacle. Actually, we need to get that. We do need to get that. There's, at the top of this, I think there's going to be another Shambler. And we're going to jump up here. Do that. Come on, dude, we have to hurry. Yep, it's a Shambler. Okay, we're just going to murder both these things as fast as possible. The nail gun actually works faster on these guys than rockets. Die. Oh, now we're fucked. Oh, wow. If he had hit me at that moment, I would have been dead. Yeah, they got a pretty good run here. Did we get that silver key? No. That could have hit me too. I think just because I was moving, his aim was off. We need the nails. The only good thing about there being a lot of ogres in this is they drop 2 rockets each. So, and they usually take about 2 rockets, so usually you're like staying, you know, in the black, I guess they would say. Grab these over here. Of course, everyone, you know, anytime you kill one without using rockets or grenades, you make a profit. I wonder how many ogres are in this level entirely. It's just tons of them. Yeah, actually, we're talking about ginger ale brands here. I'm a longtime Canada Dry fan, and I don't know why, but I picked it up from my dad when I was small and we would fly. He would always order a ginger ale on the airplane, and I just basically followed that like much longer than you would expect, like almost well into adulthood, where like if I order a soft drink on a plane, it's like, yeah, ginger ale. That's just what you do, right? You know, and yeah, so I just kind of associate it with that, I guess. But yeah, Canada Dry, that is the brand that I was just to have. Shit. Sometimes we're gonna run out of these guys. That's another Shambler. Oh no, that's the soundtrack. Okay. You know, can we talk for a second about the soundtrack in this game? So, some of you may know. Some of you may know that the soundtrack in this game was done by Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails. What you may not know is that all the sound effects, like the grunts that your player makes, like the jumping, for example, that is also supposedly Trent Reznor. Now, here's the thing. I like Nine Inch Nails. I think Trent Reznor's done a lot of great work, and a lot of work that you know, people often don't remember about Nine Inch Nails. Like, for example, The Perfect Drug, that was on some soundtrack. But here's the thing about the Quake soundtrack. Let's be honest about this. Most of the soundtrack is just metallic noise. Okay, it's not music. this is a pretty good track. The track from the first level, I would say, is all right. But in reality, I would say the only music from this that was really good is the opening theme. The opening theme is great. Absolutely love it. But the thing is, I used to, when I play the game, I would listen to the theme during the demo, and then I usually would turn the music off because it sucked. I played the shareware version a lot. Eventually, here's a little story about the shareware version here. So the shareware version of Quake, obviously shareware you could get for free because shareware is actually meant to be spread around, but they were selling a very nice shareware disc for $6.99. Came in a very, very nice CD case. Wasn't a jewel case, it was a sort of an envelope with a nice color manual in it. It was very well done. And it was about $6.99 where I was, right? And you might be wondering, why would you buy that disc when you already had the game through, I think I downloaded from the DBS or something. And the reason is because, see, the id Software kind of, they kind of made a little mistake. You see, they decided, this is long before Steam was a thing, they came up with this great idea to put the full versions and expansion packs for everything that they made at that point, basically. Doom, Final Doom, Doom 2, Quake the full version, Hexen, Heretic, everything, okay? Absolutely everything, right? They put that onto the Quake 1 shareware disc. Now, what you were supposed to do is, if you wanted to purchase any of these games, you would open up a program that was on the disc and it would show you the catalog and everything. And then you would pick a game, and if you wanted to buy it, you'd have it generate a code, basically, right? And you get that code and you would call up id Software and give them your credit card number, and then they would give you an unlock code. And then you enter the unlock code, and your game, it would install your game basically from the disk. It was basically, this stuff was encrypted on the disk, right? And the code would unencrypt it and install it. So you can probably imagine what happened here. Within a few weeks, someone made a crack, and a friend of mine got this crack. And what the crack did is basically cuts out id Software. So what you do is you just get that code from the program, and then you put that code into the crack program, and then it just spits out a code that actually unlocks the game, and you now have access to all of id Software's library for the cost of the Quake shareware episode, which is, of course, $6.99. Okay, this was quite the coup, right? But here's the thing. This is going to sound so bizarre, but I was a freshman in high school at this time, and I will say acquaintance, because we weren't really friends. This guy was kind of an asshole, but when you're in high school, if you're kind of a nerdy kid in high school, you often have a lot of other nerds that you're just kind of forced to interact with and hang out with, because they're outcasts too, right? And so I wouldn't call him a friend because he was often a dick, and but we'd hang out sometimes. And the thing is, he got a hold of this crack, and I said, okay, well, send it to me, right? Send it modem, and he's like, no, I want a rematch for the Doom deathmatch we played, because I think we did this. I think we played this at the school where I was going at the time. We had a LAN there, right? And the thing is, this guy actually used to claim that he was the second best Doom player in the world, second to John Carmack. Okay, he literally said this, and I was like, "Come on, I can't. We know it's not true. Just stop, right?" But he kept making his claim, and so the first time we ever got to actually play this game in a deathmatch, I won't say I absolutely owned him, but he did not do well. I basically was at least number one in the 4-player match, and I wasn't too impressed by my performance in it either, but better than he did, right? So what happened is I asked, this a few weeks later, I asked for that crack, and he's like, well, I want a rematch, because he's second best. But I guess like when I beat him in that first match, I became the second best Doom player in the world, right? But anyway, he wants a rematch. And I mean, I didn't get much time. We were playing modem to modem back then. I didn't get many chances to play any game multiplayer. So yeah, of course I agreed to it. And this time, we picked a level in Doom 2, and like luck was on my side. I proceeded to basically slaughter him. It was like 52-8 or something, and because of the spawn points in this particular level, there were points where like you'd respawn relatively in the same area, and so at one point I'm basically like spawn camping because I got the super shotgun, and he would I'd kill him, he would respawn just a little bit somewhere else in the room basically, and kill him again with another super shotgun blast, right? And it was just a slaughter. It's like basically the heavens decided to punish him for his arrogance and lying about being this champion Doom player or whatever, and I just couldn't believe it myself. I mean, it was just it was sad, I would say. But yeah, at least he was honest. I would say honest, but he was fair in the sense that he did send me the crack after that, and I was able to enjoy id Software's entire catalog, and I really do appreciate that. So yeah, that was a big mistake on their part. God, I hate these things. I think there's more than 2 down there. Oh, we're getting low on rockets, low on nails too. That's never good. These things are really annoying. Yeah, I wish. You know what I'll try doing in a little while is maybe we'll play the end of this episode. And I'll see if I can find a decent deathmatch server. I probably won't, but it's worth a shot. Yeah, one thing about Quake is it actually, even before Doom 3, it kind of started that shotgun dance, right? Because like with the ogres there, if you bait their melee attack, then they have that very slow and ponderous chainsaw attack, and then you can get a lot of free hits in on them. We got the gold key now, or sorry, silver key. So. Enemy there? No, okay. That's good soda. Now, here's a weird question. I never really appreciated how in a lot of different countries and also different parts of the world, people call soda different things. Like even me saying soda is probably confusing some people. But I know in Britain they tend to call them fizzy drinks. Ah, God damn it. It's F9, where are we? Okay, yeah, we didn't lose too much ground, I think. Or did we? Okay. I forgot there were guys down there. I thought there was nothing down there. I'm thinking of the exit in a different level, unfortunately. But there's a way we can take care of this. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so, in parts of the U.S. they call it pop. Some people use the term soda pop. I know in the U.K. they say fizzy drinks. Some people say soft drinks. But it's just kind of weird how this one thing is so common. Because, I mean, like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they're everywhere, right? But everyone has different names for it. Texas is interesting because they call everything Coke. Some fizzy drinks in, like Russia and the former Soviet Union, they'll call limonade. Regardless of the flavor. Oh, wow, we left 5 survivors there. Okay. Okay, we're almost done with the shareware episode. But yeah, I mean, there's many different terms. I was saying, in Texas, they call everything Coke regardless of like what it actually is. So if they say like, hey, you want Coke, like, you know, they might ask you, do you want like a Dr. Pepper or Sprite if they have something different. But I mean, this is just when I lived there, everyone said Coke for everything. But yeah, I mean, all these different terms, but obviously the correct term is, I mean, let's just be honest, the correct term is soda, right? I'm just trolling there. Yeah, this, I mean, I can't say I'm the master of this just because you see like how many secrets I miss, especially past first few levels. But in terms of like remembering the, like I said, I'm always very good at shareware episodes because that used to be what I would play, you know, more of as shareware. And so what happens is like, I mean, I've gotten a little better at the second episode in Quake, but generally it's like what I'm good at is the first episode because I remember it very well. I played through it many times, and the later episodes it gets a little more, you know, complicated. Okay, do we have two of those guys? There we go. Can't get that backpack. Yeah, I mean, this is what you're hearing now probably counts as sort of atmospheric music, I would say. And I do get that, but I also like music. I mean, you got to remember that before this, from id Software, you know, you had stuff like Doom with its soundtrack. Hexen didn't have a good soundtrack, but Heretic was all right. Heretic was very much like Doom. I mean, it was Doom Engine anyway. Okay, can't remember how to get that. We gotta go here. We gotta go into dark. Okay, yeah, it's lit now. Oh, there's a secret there. Fuck. Okay, that didn't help at all. It's not really a secret. That's just to make sure you can get out of there if you get out of there in time. Yeah, that didn't work out the way I had planned. That's a dick move game. Sometimes this guy will get stuck on something. We're good. Okay. Nope. Fuck. Okay. Recovered. Let's see if there's some health up here. Yes, it is. I'm glad some people can confirm that they do, in fact, still call everything Coke. I found that very odd. I lived in Texas as a small child for about 3 years, and you know, there was a lot of different linguistic things, especially like their future form. I'm fixing to do something. See, like, you know, normal English speakers would say, I'm going to do something, but in Texas they'd be like, I'm fixing to turn right over there and go into the store and buy some Coke. Don't know if I could still do a great Texas accent, but, well, not sure if I can do it now, but I can imitate one very famous Texan, a very angry Texan, because he's sick of the lies that the government, the Illuminati, fill our heads with on a daily basis. I think I'm a bit stuffed up. I can't really do. I'm not sure I can do my my full Jones impression now. I'll tell you this: impersonating Alex Jones basically just it tears up your throat, like because you got to do it's very gravelly, like this, right? And then you got to scream a lot too, and. You know, that you gotta show your anger at the Illuminati and the trans-dimensional demons that control this country. Right? Yeah, and see, it's already happened, so can't do any more Jones. But yeah, that's my my favorite Texan impression, Alex Jones. That fucking weirdo. All right, can we get some health? because we're going to get some falling damage. Let's check their health around. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just go. We'll probably survive this. Oh, I forgot there's no drop there. XCOM, Alex Jones voice, but I'll check that out. My favorite one is, there's a video on YouTube it's called Alex Jones's Anime, and they basically take his words, but they like have anime girls saying them, and it's just hilarious. I mean, I can't even attempt to do it, but it's great. Okay, so this boss is actually pretty easy if you keep moving, but occasionally he gets like a lucky shot. Situational awareness is the key here. Yeah, see that right there? That could hit me. Now, this was kind of interesting because, see, this boss, you know, my friend and I, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out, like, how do you kill this guy, right? We were using all our rockets and everything like that. And what's interesting here is, like, this is probably the first FPS boss, at least the first I can think of. Well, okay, I won't say the first, because if you remember El Oscuro from Rise of the Triad, you beat him by fighting him with weapons, but you had to use the right weapon. You had to use the right weapon, and he was only vulnerable when he was on a certain part of the map. And if he wasn't, then basically, you know, your attacks would do nothing. And so, and then of course, if you wanted to get the proper ending, you had to destroy all the El Oscuro larvae, which were in secret rooms in that level. So it was, you know, it was a boss that you did. It wasn't the cyber demon. You don't just shoot at it until it dies, right? And this boss, though, was sort of like that in the sense that you have to do that to kill him, because no amount of shooting does anything. Okay, there we go, and there it is. And I don't know why it does this, but just basically the map automatically telefrags a bunch of shamblers there. Let's read the flavor text. So, Chthon is a Lovecraftian beast. The Chthonians, I think you call them, they live underground, and that's why they're in the magma there. Yeah, you can see he looks like he's not really aiming that well, but occasionally, like, the main thing is speed, but occasionally if you're not careful, he throws one right where you're going to be. Yes, Quake does have fall damage, but not that much fall damage. It's not like Half-Life. Okay, so 4 runes. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign off very soon because I got to get to bed, unfortunately. But what I'll try to do is I will try to play a multiplayer match here. And just going to hope that we have some servers. No guarantees. Okay, this one's kind of fun. Let's see if it'll work. Let's see if we get into game. Okay, here we go. Looks like we'll get in there. Hopefully I don't get my ass kicked and head out. Oh, this map. Okay. Yeah. This is where you tend to... Oh, that is... Okay, he's gone. I think we're getting some lag here. Yeah. Jesus. 4-digit lag. Well, at least I got that really good kill. Like, at least 2. No, this is, that's unplayable. You see what I mean? There's something with these, there's something with these servers, and I don't know what the problem is. Let's try another server. We're on the bad space. Yeah, and if you look there, the ping is not so huge. I have no idea what the problem is. Maybe Maybe what we should do is... I was going to see if I could check servers, but... Huh, that's interesting. So... Let's... servers... Control only, crossplay... Okay. So a lot of these people, I guess, are playing on different platforms. This one is a pretty good map. Let's see if it actually works. Is the audio, did the audio go to hell, or is it back to normal now? Ping is normal. That guy's definitely got me. There's a rocket launcher here. There it is. And, he got it before I did. But he killed himself. Okay. Saves me the trouble. There we go, need a proper weapon. Okay, there, I actually killed somebody about time. Okay. There's no low gravity. That's a skill right there. He survived that. So, the secret to Quake Deathmatch, in case you haven't noticed, is that you need to basically utilize splash damage. Because usually people are going to dodge a rocket. So you just keep using the splash damage. Got that guy. Oh, see, that was a direct hit, but he survived it. He probably had the mega health. No, he didn't survive that one though. Splash damage. Nice. Nice. Oh, there we go, 3. Triple kill. But we need health. See that? Bounce him in one corner and hit him in the other corner. Somebody's up there. Block. One thing is, it's always good to, when someone is distracted, to basically go after him then. That guy, probably not paying too much attention. Did I get that guy? Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm leading the pack, alright. Well, that is good. Don't know what the frag limit is here. Is it quad damage in this level? There we go. And I got some rockets. And, oh, you son of a bitch. And of course he survives that because he got my mega health. Jesus. Oh, fuck. Those sink in the lava. Okay. Oh, someone try to get this rocket launcher. He survived. He got hit by like 2 rockets. Okay. Mega health. My turn, finally. That's mine. I'll get the armor. Yeah, so, you know, the thing about multiplayer in this era was that, you know, there was a different skill set, which basically meant, you know, first of all, using rockets, but also getting as much health as you can and getting like armor, right? Because that would allow you to take some very, very strong hits. And that was the key. Was that what was nice is that, you know, you didn't die instantaneously. I remember when I started playing like Call of Duty Modern Warfare Online, and like I was terrible at it because basically, to me, it just seems like it's all about who sees who first. And you know, you basically, if you're getting hit, you're dead, right? I mean, you could say that's realistic, fine, whatever, but like that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, it's more fun when first of all when people have to get weapons, right? Because that's another thing is you got to know where the best weapons are in each map and the fastest way to get to them. And then after that, it's also getting stuff like your how do we get in there? That way, that's for sure. Okay. Yeah, getting the armor, getting weapons, so that way you can survive more hits, and basically dominate you dominate the map, you dominate the level. Like dominating the map is basically like knowing where these power-ups are going to be, always trying to be there whenever they spawn. Come on. I like these teleporters here because they can, if you got someone who's gunning for you, you can sort of get out of their line of sight or whatever. That's another thing is that movement is really the key in this kind of deathmatch. Let's go here. I'm going to camp a little bit. Looking for somebody who's hapless. But I could. There we go. Huh, I survived that. Amazing. Okay. So, let's see if we can get our lead back. Oh, this guy. When did that guy pull ahead like that? I will say another suspicion I've had, I usually don't talk about this, but like, a suspicion I've had since playing the multiplayer on this is that they're the original Quake is where you first had stuff like aimbots and things like that. And I do get suspicious in some servers when some people just seem to be a little too unkillable. Like this green dude right there. I don't even remember him being in the game. He was in the trailer. Okay. Yeah, higher ping too. Warframe. I will have to look that up. So I guess there's some static. There's static when we play multiplayer. Let's just try one more time, single player, and see what happens. How's that audio now? We'll just go through this again, see if it changes. Oh wow. I'm not even going to survive that. Alright, well, it looks like it's getting a bit late, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off for now. I will try to put out some more content before I leave. Obviously, when I do leave, there are... Oh, direct hit. Yeah, see, he does lead you. Yeah, so obviously... once I do leave, there are going to be periods of time when I might be entirely out of contact, including on Twitter. Don't panic. That is normal, as to be expected. That's mostly for OPSEC, so don't worry too much about that. Probably I'm going to hit this guy one time. There. Okay. All right. And so I will catch you next time. Good to know at least that we have another game where the audio is not crap, as long as we are not playing the what do you call it, is multiplayer, excuse me. All right, so anyway, I just can't think. All right, anyway, I hope this is enlightening. There's also the donation thing there if you have any money to spare. And of course, on Patreon, since I'm going to be unemployed very soon, it would really help with what I'm doing over there. And Patreon is, of course, it's not in the description for this one, but check any other video. It'll be right in that description for the whichever video you click on. All right, so everyone have a good night, and I'll see you around next time. Thanks for coming, Milabu.